Hey, everybody. It is Thrive O'Clock with Rachelle and Mel. And today we have a special guest that, of course, you probably already know her. And we'll get with her in just a second. Miss Desiree Alexander is in the house tonight. I know, this is how my mind works. It's still early in Alaska. Rachelle, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Great to be here. I missed you on Monday because we didn't connect on Monday, so I feel like I haven't seen you in forever. So I always look forward to Fridays or any day that I get to talk to you, Melody, but I'm also excited to have our guest here with us today because every time with Desiree, I just laugh. We have a great time. So I am thankful for her for joining us today.
I am so thankful too. And Desiree, yes, I just want to say, Rachelle, thank you for those kind words. I'm excited too. Desiree, tell us where you're coming from and tell us all about you.
Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Desiree Alexander. I am the founder, CEO of Educator Alexander Consulting. I also work for a nonprofit in the state of Louisiana called APEL. And I am coming to you from Shreveport, Louisiana today.
Awesome. What's the weather like there?
It's okay. Today, it got kind of hot again. Like we only have like one day of spring and one day of fall per year, and it's like it's the fall day. We ever all run outside. But so I think we already had our one day of fall, so it got hot again, and now it's getting a little bit cooler. So we'll see what happens.
Well, it's officially cold here. It's officially like all the leaves in our yard are gone. It's cold. It's in the 40s. It's going to be, there's snow on the mountaintops. Like winter is coming. We're supposed to get our first snow this weekend. So it's no longer fall. Our fall lasts for a month, but at least we get it. In Texas, I was just a couple hours away from you, Desiree. So yeah, you're right. But even in the wintertime, it's like the 70s and 80s. So, get what you get. Rachelle, what's it like in Pennsylvania?
Well, I was going to say that it's cold, but now I kind of feel bad if I say that.
You should.
Like I looked at this morning, it was kind of gray and dark and cold. I mean, I looked at the temperature and it said, I think it was like 45 or 47. And I said, yeah, there's no way I'm going outside for a walk today. It's cold outside. I gotta put the heat on, but it turned out to be a really nice day. It's sunny. I don't know what the temperature is, but it's very nice. So, but there's no snow. That would actually be kind of cool if it would snow right now. Everybody's thinking, Rachelle, what are you talking about? Just mix it up a little.
I am not looking forward to the snow. So I spent half of my life in Texas. I like the warm weather. So I love Shreveport. I love the hot. I like it, the heat. So if you're listening in, whether it's in Facebook or on Twitter, tell us about the weather where you are. And I don't know about y'all, but like the weather really affects my moods, like when it rains and pours and it's like, I really get, bent out of shape.
Yeah, I agree. And I don't like outside. I tell people that. Like, I don't like to be outside. I like to be inside. But I do like it to be sunny. Like I like to see the sun through the closed blinds. It makes me happy. That's as much as I need, but yeah.
Does it? Do you ever have to put your sunglasses on when you're sitting inside and the sun's coming through the blinds?
No, my blinds are always closed, so I'm good.
I'm just kidding. Just wondered. I mean,
I wish somebody would just like buy a big light, and that's all I really need. I don't need real sun. I just need to look like sun, and I'm happy. That's all I need.
My classroom for years, once I had a classroom, I didn't have, there weren't any windows. There was just the door and that window. And so a couple of my students said, it's so depressing. We can't even look outside. And they took paper and they drew just different scenes, like as though you're looking outside. Oh, it's snowing today. Then they cut out a sun and different like clouds that they could stick on the paper onto the wall to do that and just pretend that we actually had a window in the classroom. But I don't know. There is something about the sun coming in. I don't do well in the heat, although I don't know. It's weird. Sometimes I'm good with it. And I don't know. I've been out to Arizona. I think last summer was in Arizona in July. And everybody's like, why would you go to Arizona in July if you don't like the heat?
Yeah.
So
they have seasonal affective disorder. So I mean, it's a real
Me too.
It's a real disorder. So
I agree. That's why I left Missouri. But I loved Texas because of that. I only survived last winter because I was tanning, because I would go to the gym and I tanned and I felt so sexy last year. I hate that about my life right now. I'm so white. No tans. Anyway, but that really helped me. Like I would tan like 2 or 3 times a week, and it really helped me. But this year, I'm not going to the gym. I don't feel safe, to be out in the gym. So, and I'm not outside all the time either. So, like, I don't know what I'm going to do this winter. How I'm going to survive it. It's already getting really dark. Like, our days are getting shorter. The sun is coming up at like 8 and like closer to 9. So it feels like our days are getting shorter now. So we're going. Yeah, I know I'm boring you guys. I'm just ranting. I am so sorry, but I am worried about my seasonal affective disorder. It's SAD syndrome.
You could never be boring. Okay, let's just put that out there. It's just never not boring. It's never a boring time whenever we have a conversation.
Right.
Make it through. Even when it's just the two of us, we somehow manage.
Right. It's fun. And it's relatable. Like, I have to tan throughout the summer as well.
But I blinked? What did I miss? I blinked for a second. You did something.
But being in the sun is important. Like getting that vitamin D, it's important.
Yeah, that is a thing.
Yeah, I'm not good at taking it every day. I hate milk. How else could you get vitamin D? But I don't know.
I don't know, because I don't drink milk either.
Yeah,
and I don't like being in the sun too much. So I don't know.
I like being in the sun. I like being in the sun if I'm tanning, like if I'm by the pool. Otherwise, like Desiree said, I don't like being outside, which is terrible because my kids love being in nature. My husband loves hiking. I told myself that when we moved here, I would be more outdoorsy and adventurous. And so far, I give myself a big fat F. So.
Well, you can't be that hard on yourself, but you bring up some really good points, like especially now, if a lot of schools and teachers and people and families and everybody is working from home and you're just inside at the computer, it's more important than ever to get up, even if you're just moving around your house. Like I tend to do, I have some good courses. I do some laps in my house. I mean, what are you going to do? The weather's terrible, but at least you're moving and stretching.
Right.
So
and I've been telling my teachers, it's the little things that we miss and we don't realize we miss. Like it's the decompression time when you're driving to work and driving from work, and that little time where you're just by yourself before you get off the car. Like we miss all that by just working, and then we're back to family, and then we're back to work, and then we're back. So just that little, like, just take a breather, like shut off everything and sit in your office for a second before you head back out into, life, or, go hide in the bathroom for an extra 5 minutes or something, wherever you can go to just escape for a second, because we miss that. We don't realize that we miss those little times that we could just decompress and be by ourselves. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm very sensitive to noise too. Like being, I have the headphones in all day because teaching, and then it's just, that's the quality on that sometimes too, just to make sure you can hear the students. The volume is way high. So then when 3, 4 o'clock comes, I don't want to hear anything. I want no noise whatsoever. The TV is not on. There's no music. Nothing. I go for it. When I do go for a walk, it's just, I listen to the sounds of nature, or I'm writing an email while I'm walking, but either way, it's quiet. Melody just laughs at me. She's like, "Listen, that's so sad."
I don't think it's sad. I just think it's funny. You got to do what you got to do. I mean, so Desiree, you like have your own business, right? Like you are contracting teachers. Tell us a little bit about what you do all week.
Every week is completely different. Every day is completely different, which for someone that's type A, it's definitely something I had to get used to, because I was used to a regimented classroom, or even when I was at the district level, a regimented day. So it's definitely something I had to get used to, building my own schedule, but it really depends on the day. Usually every day I do some type of presenting, whether that be a webinar, whether that be an online all-day session, whether that be going out to the school districts to teach in person. But it's usually some type of teaching throughout the day. And then it's like wrangling cats, trying to keep up with emails. Like, it's just like, oh, I'm under 100. And then in 2 minutes, it's like, I'm at 130. How did that happen? So it's kind of like, you just do the best you can with answering people. I finally put a out of office message. It's like, I'm gonna get back to you in 2 weeks. That's all I can do. So like, answer as many emails, like Rachelle said, like answer as many emails as you can. And then like call people back. So it's just, My whole day consists of helping educators, and I just really wouldn't have it any other way. It really is my passion. And like I tell people, if it wasn't my passion, I would probably be like sitting in the corner, rocking back and forth, crying. It's a lot. It's a lot, but you get joy from just helping. Like you don't have to get thanked. You don't have to, like you get joy just from knowing like I answered that question. I was able to help her out with that question. Because we've all had that. Like we've all had those questions, right? And we didn't have time because we were in the classroom teaching our kids to look it up or to research that, or why is that button not working anymore? And I'm just happy to be that person for educators. So that's really my entire life, is helping educators right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
I gotta make a comment. I'm sorry. I know I interrupted you. Hold your thought. I have to say this out loud. I don't understand why people want to get to, like, I never even knew until recently that it was an aspiration for people to get their emails down to 0. I have never had a 0 email. I just answer the ones that I'm supposed to answer when I'm supposed to answer. I'm terrible. I have thousands of emails that are in my email box or inbox. So I didn't even realize that people actually try to get down to 0. That is a new concept for me. I don't think it's even, how's that even possible?
Oh, it is. You can do it.
No idea.
You can do it. But it's, you know what? You can only do it by using folders and labels. So like I have a pending label, I have a to-do label, I have a, like, you can only do it by actually moving stuff into other labels that you want to keep, or things that you need to, like you're waiting for a response back from, like just getting that out of your inbox. So that's, yeah, it's all about the organization.
People do that?
I teach people how to do that.
Holy moly. I hate being in my email. Maybe that's why. I don't think I spend that much time in there.
I love email.
Wow. You guys are blowing my mind. Okay, I interrupted you as I always do, Rachelle. What were you going to say?
Well, you know what? I had something to say, but based on what you just said, it totally changed all of that. No, because you said about your email, and I thought, I wonder if that's why you've not yet answered my email from August, is what I'm thinking. And
Seriously?
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Well, maybe so. But I have you get that mail track, so I can see, you know, a lot of people use that. They can see whenever you've opened it, they can see if you clicked on links in it. I do have labels and folders and things like that, but every day, I mean, the number of emails that I get, it's not that my inbox goes to 0, because I have some things there that I keep intentionally that I want to go back to, but I am there. Like I cannot, when I was sick a couple of weeks ago, I had like 435 emails in 24 hours. And,
yes.
And that's just email. That's not the LinkedIn, the Twitter, the Facebook, you name it. And it's like, people say, oh, you could take the day or weekend off. And I'm like, no, because they are not just going to disappear into the thin air. But then going back to what I was going to originally say, you said wrangling cats. I do that all the time around here. It doesn't involve email. It's just
she literally wrangles.
Literally, I am known as the cat wrangler in the neighborhood. Whenever the cats go missing, but anyway, I had that made me laugh. But emails, they are. I know that is a thing, like the 0 inbox, and people have plans to help people kind of manage that. I need somebody to do that with my Google Drive, because that's a disaster area with all of the shared and this.
Yes. I freaking hate Google Drive. I'm glad that I don't care about my inbox, because listen, if I knew how many, I have thousands of unread emails, okay? Thousands. Oh, no. And exactly, I would lose sleep over knowing, yes, if I was counting 423 in 24 hours, that would make me upset. But just knowing that I have thousands and I'm never going to get to them, so why even care?
I lose sleep. Like I'm so type A workaholic. Like I lose sleep over that kind of stuff. Like, and I tell people, get up from your computer and walk away. But then when I found with me, like I'll get up from my computer and just go to my little computer and go to my phone and start doing it while I'm walking. Like she was saying, so I started laughing. I was like, yes, you're never done. And it's it really is an addiction. Like I do believe that it's an addiction that I'm suffering from. I'm trying to get a little better. One of the things that I did was I turned off all sounds. So my phone is constantly on silent. No notifications, no nothing. But I recently watched a Netflix show, and they were saying like even turn off notifications, like turn off even the little numbers that pop up. I'm not there yet. But
I've turned off the only notifications that I get on my phone is when somebody calls me and if somebody text messages me. Those are the only two. I have turned off all notifications because I mean, I used to be able to get off social media for years at a time. I mean, I have like, when we go back to your memories and stuff on Facebook, I have like gaps of years because like it just got too much. And I'm taking a cleanse this weekend. I'm totally going off. Sorry, I need to announce this to the world. No, I'm just joking. I don't need to announce it. But I mean, but I don't like notifications. Notifications drive me crazy. And I don't like it on my email. That's probably why I have thousands of emails that are unanswered, because I check my email when I want to check my email. I check my Facebook when I want to check. I don't want to be a slave to these notifications. But I do think it's an addiction also. And and that kind of takes me to the only topic I really have planned for us is our sweet and sour. And I got to say, I'm making myself go first. My sour is like social media has really gotten to me this week. Like I feel like I hit a wall and I need a break. That's my sour. I'm starting with the bad. I'm sorry.
That's fine. It's so. I'm going to go back to what you said too, just like the notifications. I know I laugh when I'm teaching and I have the two computers and I'm trying to talk to the students. They're, in the classroom teams, but then in the background on my one computer, you can hear the email from the school email doing the ding and it's super loud, but I don't know if the students can hear that part. But then on the other computer or my phone, I can hear, the phone vibrates or the other computer makes the ding. And it got to the point where I'm like, what are all of these bells? And then somebody was calling into a Teams meeting at one point. I'm like, what is that sound? I mean, I couldn't even identify them anymore, but it's hard now, especially with teaching and everything happening online. Like, how do we break away when we know that there's going to be so much there? Or where do you draw the line? And I know that's something that a lot of people are fighting with now, whether you're in education or not. It's just like, when do you stop the work and when do you make it so that you're not available, because you have to have that time for yourself too. So I don't know. Following you, sour for this week. I don't really know that I have one. I gotta think. I don't know. Desiree, do you have a sour?
You can start with the sweet if you want, just because I'm a sour person.
I do have a sour. I just don't know if I want to make it public, but I do. I do have a sour. Okay. Yeah. So I don't know.
Well, let's start with the sweet. And so I finally changed it from the Rose to the Thorns in honor of our Lemonade Learning from Rainey and Brianna. So they have an amazing podcast going on. But the sweet of this week, do you guys have anything wonderful you want to share?
My episode on their podcast came out this week, so I'm thankful. Very
that
thankful
is cool.
I had so much fun just when they were with us a couple of weeks ago and then recording the podcast with them. So
that is cool.
Great opportunity. So I was excited for that because they are very sweet. So.
Well, I guess I had a really good week training one of my districts here in Louisiana. Just really, really good people. Shout out to Evangeline Parish. So I had a really good time training them and leading them through the level 2 test this week. And it was announced that I would be a featured thought leader for TCEA this week. So I'm excited about that.
Congratulations.
Yeah, so a lot of sweet stuff. There's always sweet, right? In every week.
I know that.
I was just sitting here thinking my week has been really sour, but you guys have reminded me that it's been good. I got to be on a podcast with one of my Chiefs Kingdom fans, or friends, Farzine, and it was so much fun. He interviewed me about my book and just the state of education, of my thoughts on that. That was fun. And, that I have a good life. Like sometimes I get, like this week has been hard. I don't know why. It just feels like this week feels harder. I do have a friend who is struggling with COVID right now. That has really, really gotten to me. I don't want to talk too much about it because I will cry. But so that has really made my week a little bit more difficult. when I'm trying to do my stuff. Like, and I'm sure that's something that everybody's working with. Like, we all know people who are struggling, who are sick, and you have to still go on with regular life. Like, you just have to keep going. And that was something that really hit me, in the last couple of days. Like, I don't want to keep going forward. I'm stuck. And so I'm sorry. I just keep going back and forth to my sweet and sour. See, I'm like a sourpuss.
That's life right now. It's not like nobody wants. I think people are over the like pretend happiness. I think people are over it. They're like, well, you should like only be happy. Well, no, I'm not happy because things suck. So I'm not going to always be happy. So I think people are over that, and people want to hear, because especially people like all of us sitting here today, like we have people that listen to us. We have a voice in this, in this arena, in this space, and people like, they don't want to see people that are just faking it all the time and saying that everything's happy when they're feeling so miserable. So they want to hear you say like, hey, I'm miserable right now too, but we're going to get through it together. Like, I'm miserable, but I have hope, and I have hope that we're going to get through it together. But that fakeness is so 2019.
And that feels like 10 years ago right now.
Right. I'm like, that's so December 19. Like, just,
oh man, those were the days back in any part of 2019. Although I will say that earlier this year in the month of February, I got to see both of you. So that was fantastic. Just thinking back to those memories. And then I was also thinking that we have in common the whole karaoke thing, because when we were in Philly last year, Desiree and I with Sarah and everybody, that was my first experience in those types of karaoke. So that was fun. And then this year too.
Was that what are you talking about? EST? Did you guys go karaoke during EST?
Yeah, Sarah got a place.
Damn, I was. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to say that. I was at EST in Philadelphia. I wish I would have been there with you guys.
Just follow whenever you're at a conference and you see Sarah. Just follow him. Like, when is it? Because at some point we're doing karaoke. So it's just like, I don't know if it's Sunday at 2:00 in the morning, but at some point Sarah's going to a karaoke place. So just follow her. Make sure you get that date and time, because it is always amazing.
It is. I actually have done karaoke with my boss, and it's Boss's Day, I think, because in my memories it said it's Boss's Day. So I want to give a shout out to Dr. Sarah. But I have got to karaoke with her right before everything shut down. And you're right. It was pretty amazing. I've never karaoke'd like that. It changed my world.
You know what else was fun? Speaking of karaoke, whenever we were all together in Nashville and Sarah pulled out all of her stuff in the one room that we were sharing. And she was playing all the songs for us too.
Yeah. So, she's real. She's like music. A real DJ. Yes.
Our theme here is music. So sometimes like that is what, for me, that's what elevates me or pulls me out of mood sometimes. Cause I am too. I'm like, I forget about everything going on and I feel great. And I'm like, all right, it's a great day. And I'm like, wait a minute. Not everything is like the way it seems. And then sometimes I do struggle where I feel like I've hit up against a wall and I have so many things to do and I don't feel like doing anything. So I shut down. And I think, like you say, Desiree, it's important to know that. Not that, I mean, if you are feeling great about things and that's you, then that's you. But like to relate to somebody and say, you know what, I'm having a really terrible time, or this isn't fun and this is challenging or frustrating, because somebody might be out there thinking, well, everybody else looks like everything's great. Right. So what's my problem? And then when they realize that, like, okay, other people are having these experiences too, and us sharing right now, the sweet and the sour, or anything in between, it's just sharing your story. So even if it just connects with that one person that needs to hear it, then
right. And I've heard so many people throughout this summer and this whole COVID and racial unrest. Though I don't know how many times I've heard, well, at least I know I'm not alone. At least I know I'm not alone. And it's not just me talking on it. It's like educators talking to each other, and they're like, oh my God, I thought I was alone. And it's just like, I think it's very dangerous when we feel alone in situations. I think that's where a lot of really negative thoughts come from, and it leads to other very, very negative situations. So I think when we feel alone, that's detrimental. Yeah. So we need to start being honest about how we're feeling, and we need to start just owning our feelings. Like, sometimes throughout a day, I can go from like insanely happy, the world is amazing, to like, I want to punch everybody in the face and chop them in the throat, and I don't care if I get arrested. Like, it's just, Like you go, like, and that's okay. Like I'm just gonna be with my feelings. I'm like, yeah, right now I'm gonna punch everybody in the face, even though, a minute before I was singing my Jesus music and saying how thankful I was. Like it's just like it's okay. Just be
Right.
and be in your feelings and know that you have people around you that you can talk to, whether you know us or not. Like even though I just said I told you it's gonna take 2 weeks for me to respond, but you can always email me.
Right.
Tweet at me or whatever. And I mean, just know that you have people that are going through the same things, and do be thankful. Try to find at least one thing per day to be thankful for, whether it be like I'm breathing. I may not be breathing well, but I'm breathing. We had 2 hurricanes hit us in Louisiana in like 2 weeks apart. And it's just, it really puts things in perspectives when like your internet goes out and you're like, yeah, but I have a house. Like I have a roof and I have, so it puts things in perspective. So just, yeah.
Wow, I'm so out of touch. I knew that was happening and totally forgot about that. We do have a comment. Oh, Corey says, hopefully the lesson learned when we return to face is when students are having a tough time, trauma, and having difficulty completing tasks. We remember how we as adults feel at the moment. I agree, Corey. Thank you for sharing that.
Corey, just joining in. Corey's great. Corey's actually going to be our guest moderator on Formative Chat in 2 weeks. So, yay! Throwing that out there too. If we're talking about,
and that we as adults feel this way, and we supposedly have the skills to, self-correct ourselves, where students don't. So I think we put a lot of expectations on students to be these little mini adults, and they're not there yet. That's why they're students. So
well, even if they were mini adults, they wouldn't have it all together, because I know I don't have it all together.
Right.
But, yeah.
None of us have it all together, right? I mean, it's back and forth, up and down, depending on the time. I mean, we all, especially now, there are so many things that are happening around the world. And if they're not impacting us, they're impacting our friends or our friends' families or somebody we know. And so that's when it became even more real. Like, you knew about COVID, but then when you started to hear about friends who have it or have been impacted by it, or things like, with the hurricanes, and I have family too, family and friends, and the fear that comes with that. So we have to work through all of it. And as educators, people and educators, we have to be prepared to help our students and ourselves and our colleagues with all of those things. So it is not easy at all.
No, and it's one of those things I tell my teachers, like, if you're feeling super duper comfortable right now, you're not doing something right. Like, you're not listening. If you don't have some kind of unrest in your spirit, something's wrong with you. Like, you're a psychopath or a sociopath, or you really don't care about anybody but yourself. So and that's just true.
Do you really say it like that?
No, I really do say it. I mean, it's the truth. If you don't have any kind of unrest with you, with the racial things happening, with the election, with
I hear you what you're saying.
There's something wrong with you. Like, something is, like, you need to get checked up.
Right.
Something is wrong with you. So of course we are all feeling this heaviness because the heaviness is there.
Right. Yeah. And I think that's, it's so funny because what you said is completely right. And here I feel like I'm immersed in social media, but at the same time, I'm out of touch. Like, I completely forgot that, on the coast that I lived half of my life was under a hurricane, like, how can you be so entrenched in something and so far away from others? Like, it really is. It's just what is that called? A paradigm. It's very bizarre, And
you can't be a part of everything too. Like, you physically can't be a part of everything. Like, it's one of those things where people go, things are so, hectic and horrible. I don't know where to start. When you start in your circle and you start in your world, that's all we can do. Like, we're not, oh my gosh. Like, if we started to take on all the problems just in the world in general, we wouldn't get out of bed. So we have to start.
That's where I am right now. Y'all, it was so hard for me today to get out of bed. I'm not going to lie. This is why I look rough. Like, I am seriously in a rough place today. And it's just been coming on. I had a meltdown last night. And now I'm telling all of my personal business. I apologize. I had a meltdown last night. Yeah, I'm just like, and the thing is that I don't have all of my supports are not in place. I live a very privileged life. Like, I've never been more aware of that than before. So there's a part of me that I don't want to complain. I don't want to put it out there because I know that like if stuff were to go down, I would still have food. I would still have a place to live, a very comfortable place to live. I still have everything that I need. But like emotionally and mentally, which also turns into physically, I don't have the things that I used to do to get away from everything. And so it's just, I feel like it finally just hit me so hard last night. I had a meltdown, but I thought I'm not going to hold this inside. I talked to my husband about it. You know, that really helped just to get it out and for him to know that I'm struggling and I don't have all the answers. And I just, you know, I don't want to slap on a happy face and say, you know, here I am. I like want to just crawl into a hole and just be away from everybody. And I haven't felt like that in a long, long time, you know?
And I think we all have different strengths and we all have different weaknesses and we all have different lives. So I think it's unfair to say like, oh, well, my feelings are not valid because someone has it worse than me. Someone's always going to have it worse than you. So, and it's not that you're saying like, oh, I feel sad because I can't watch my TV show and it's the worst thing in the world. Now that thing is like, okay, baby, draw it back. Right? But if you're like, I can't watch The Office and The Office is what gave me joy and now everything is dark and I want to lay down, then go lay down and be in your feelings. Like, that's okay. That's that's what's going on in your life. And I think when we have to stop invalidating ourselves. Like, that's what my feeling is right now. And is again, I'm not saying that's the worst thing in the world. I'm not going to be insane. But that's what's happening in my life right now. And I'm mad that I didn't get that last bagel. And now I'm going to have a bad day. Like, that's my life. And that's okay. And it's going to be, you know, and I'm going to complain to somebody about it. And if they think I'm stupid, then that's fine. But that's my life and my world. And I'm mad about the bagel. And then I will go help others later.
What kind of bagel?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't buy bagels. I have no clue.
I love that. I'm actually a bagel fan. No, you know, Dr. Desiree, thank you for making me laugh. I didn't think it was possible today. Like, I have just been in such a dark place. Thank you. I really, I appreciate it so much.
You'll always laugh with her. I remember when we were in Florida at a conference at dinner the one night, we were waiting and waiting and waiting. And oh man, it was
always laughing.
I know. So laughter is good. Makes you feel better, which is why I like Thrive O'Clock with you, Melody, because I always laugh when I'm with you.
I know. And I knew that once I got on, like, I really felt like this is good. I'm going to be connecting with people. And so I really do. I do appreciate both of you today. And Rachelle always being with you is awesome. And Corey says it's okay to check your emotions versus keeping your emotions in check. Thank you, Corey. I mean, I feel kind of stupid for putting it all out there, but y'all, thank you. I'm just, it comes from a place of just where I literally am right now. And just to be respectful of everybody's time, we've actually gone over, but you know, Desiree, it was wonderful to be in the same space with you. Rachelle, always wonderful to be with you. And thank you for coming on the show. Ladies, before we leave, do you have anything you want to say to everybody?
Just take care of yourselves as much as you can. I know it's very easy to say and hard to do. So just take care of yourself as much as possible. Just know that you are not open 24 hours, just like the school is not open 24 hours. So put a time on it and put some boundaries around yourself and your family and your time. Don't make excuses for your time. And what I mean by that is if someone says like, can you meet at 6 o'clock? And you're like, well, no, because I have to bring my kid to soccer. Well, no, because I'm going to sit and eat Cheetos. Like, you don't have to know what I'm doing. Don't make excuses for your time. You put boundaries on your time and you say no beyond the time that you set. So just please take care of yourself.
Eat some Cheetos. Now I'm hungry for Cheetos and bagels, although I did have a bagel today.
I do like bagels.
Advice.
Yes.
I do feel the need to do that though, to say like, to tell somebody why. And that's part of, you know, who I am. And I try to make things work, but good advice from you. I'm going to keep listening to Melody to go live your life, Rachelle. Don't work so much. Take a break. I need to practice my guitar. So that's going to be my weekend and working. So, but good to see you. Thank you for being here.
Corey, thank you for joining us. He says he tells teachers to work I work with use your out of office more than ever. Let people know you have family. Amen. Amen. Thank you for joining us, Corey, too. Everybody have a great weekend. We'll see you on Monday. I'm gonna take a social media cleanse this weekend. So hopefully I'll have makeup on and feel so much better when I see you on Monday. But take care and have a great weekend. Bye.
Bye.